All right, guys, we are going to be diving into another HSM Academy coaching question. This question came in from Dee, and basically I'm going to paraphrase it. She is doing the paper pencil journal. She's doing the HSM weight management plan, and she is running into an issue with treat fatigue. She asked me the question. She says, I'm working on my binge eating, and I want to reduce the binge urge. So I find that come nighttime, I'm going out of the house to get my treat, and I'm finding I have too many choices. And when I first read this question, I responded to her and I said, are you doing the HSM weight management plan? Because the way it was worded, I wasn't sure. And she said, oh yes, I am. And I thought, okay, this is a great teaching moment. So when we do the weight management plan that's in the HSM Academy, you will notice calories come second, because that was part of her question. It was, how do I know which treat to pick that's going to leave me feeling satisfied and have a reasonable amount of calories? And there's a couple factors here that Dee's struggling with. One, she's working on binge eating, so the calories are less important in this case, because the reality is if she binges on the regular, she's definitely going to be exceeding maintenance. But I want to make sure I hit this point home. A lot of people I've noticed in the people sharing their paper pencil journals, this reoccurring theme comes up of, I feel uncomfortable not knowing my calories during the day and waiting till the next day. It's not you that feels uncomfortable. It is that lower brain that feels very uncomfortable because you're breaking a habit loop. So let's be honest. You knowing your calories at the beginning of the day and planning out the perfect 1,500 calorie day, the perfect 1,200 calorie day, the perfect 26 point day, whatever the thing is you're following, the perfect 20 grams of carbs per day does not ensure you. As a matter of fact, I would say it actually acts in the opposite way. It almost guarantees you won't hit those numbers because let's be honest, like if that really worked, if you knowing your numbers at the beginning of the day and planning out your day based on your calories worked, would we even be having this conversation? But your mind doesn't want to let you see that, because you doing that pattern, planning out your day, 1,500, all these negative behaviors that happen with food occur. Oh, by the way, all lower brain driven, leads you to abandon your plan, quit on yourself, eat whatever you want, and start again tomorrow or start again next week. It's a beautifully created cycle to sustain that problem of overeating, abandoning your plans, going back to what you've always done. It's set up to do that, right? What I am proposing in the HSM weight management plan is kind of the antithesis. It's create the plan, execute the plan, record the calories the next day. Because what will happen is, if you are creating a plan with your higher level thinking in the morning, and it's actually a detailed plan, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more here, you will reduce decision fatigue, because you're not going to be trying to decide 6 or 7 o'clock at night what treat you're going to go out and drive and pick up and feel overwhelmed because you only gave yourself 2 or 3 choices. You're going to pick one of those. And because you have given yourself controlled choices that you like, you're going to actually feel more satisfied with it. Give yourself the freedom to make those decisions. And keeping in mind, if you struggle with binge eating, it's not just always the physical restriction that's led to the binging, meaning trying to keep your calories very low for a very long time. It's also the mental restriction. It's the mental obstacles that you're contending with all day, every day, overthinking the treats constantly. So what I had encouraged Dee to do is, and I shared my journal with her just so she could see, actually give herself 3 treats every day, because she said she likes chocolate, ice cream, and candy. So in a perfect world, every single day, when Dee makes her plan and she knows she's going to go out and get a treat, she's going to list those 3 things down. And she's going to then take the mental burden off of her of which treat should I pick? What's going to be the most satisfying? What's got the most calories? She's got 3 choices. Come 6 o'clock, she'll pick one and she'll move on. And then next day she gets those same 3 choices again. And it's amazing, because we already had an Academy member share that she had been planning cheese and wine, I think it was every night. And she noticed by night 4 or 5, it kind of started to lose its luster. And I'm like, hey, who would have thunk it? This is awesome, right? You have to give yourself a chance to sit with a more abundance of choices, but controlled. And you have to allow yourself to choose. We often are so regimented and tight with ourselves. It's like, you're only gonna have chocolate. Today's working out to be 1,500. That's what you're gonna have. Then come 6 o'clock, something is said in your head like, hey, you had a hard day today. It was emotional. How about you have all the things, right? And we give into it. So what we're saying is, here's a ideal scenario. You plan 3 breakfasts, you plan 3 lunches, you plan 3 dinners. Give yourself an adequate amount of choices with things you really like, not forcing yourself to eat things you don't like. Give yourself 3 options for treats. And then all through the day, you get to pick. You don't have to make all those decisions, all day, every day of, oh my gosh, out of all the food I could possibly eat, what am I gonna have? Now, Dee followed back up with me and said what she had been doing was just writing the word treat. Now, I do not, if you're a binge eater, if you're someone who struggles with food, which hence why we're all in the HSM Academy, I would say you don't ever just put the word treat. Take 5 minutes in the morning, and this is a very important part of the step. And this is the one that gets glossed over because we think we have so much other stuff to get done. Really think about what you have access to. Today I had a harder time planning because we just went to the grocery store and I realized I hadn't cooked any chicken yet. I didn't have certain staples available. So I had to really ask myself, am I going to eat that? Like, what are the chances of that? So I had to be very thoughtful about what I wrote down because I didn't want to write down a bunch of options I'm probably not going to have access to and then put myself in a bind. So I said, okay, well, if I don't cook the chicken, what are some things I do have available to me that I could make for dinner? And I wrote those down as options A, B, and then I have C if I choose to cook the chicken tonight, right? So it's really checking in with yourself, not, hey, this is something I got to mark off my to-do list. I'm going to hurry up and get it done and hope for the best. This is where the work is. The work of the HSM weight management plan, it's in the pre-thinking your day. It's really asking yourself, what food is in my house? What does my day look like? What do I got going on personally with my family, all that? What is realistically what I am going to eat? And if I really don't know, we talked about the plate method. We talked about setting healthy intentions. You have that as a guide as well. But you don't want to just put dinner. You don't want to just put treat. You want to say, okay, treats, what do I have in my house right now? Maybe I have a chocolate bar. Maybe I have some ice cream cones in the freezer. Maybe I know I'm going to go out and I can get myself a nice baked good from the bakery. Maybe it would be a brownie or a cookie. Really think through what you're going to eat and write it down. At the end of the day, you knowing calories through the day is pointless if you know you never stick with them anyway, which is, again, 90% of people who've been on diets. What is more imperative is that you really think through your day, write down an honest plan based on food you have available to you, and that you really would enjoy eating, and giving yourself probably about at least 3 options at every meal or 3 options at treats, because then you don't get decision fatigue. Your brain doesn't need to spiral out about what about this, what about that. You've given realistic options, and then you move on with your day and you think a lot less about food. You actually really do. And it actually frees you to make better choices because you could earn stars for passing on certain things that might in the past have been high calorie options or eating a little less. You have so many good options. So calories are essential for weight loss. They're essential for weight maintenance. They are not essential to plan your day around, because most people don't. When they do that, they don't even stick to the plan anyway, because their lower brain shows up and convinces them why they should do all these other things with food, right? What's essential is a really well planned out day and you trying to adhere to it the best you can. All right, guys, I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon.